Welcome to Kandidly Keoshia, where positivity meets real talk. I'm your host, Keoshia, here to share my unfiltered stories, life lessons, and a whole lot of laughs. Get ready for straight talk, real laughs, and no filters. It's like chatting with your best friend who knows just how to lift your spirits. So tune in now and let's keep it real together. Hey guys, welcome to Kandidly Keoshia, where we keep it real, laugh through the chaos, and never hold back. I am your host, Keoshia Kennard, and welcome to episode 2 of the podcast. I am so glad that you decided to join me for episode 2. If you're just now tuning in, I am doing a series this month called the Growth Series, and it kind of reflects on life as you go through growing pains, as I would like to call them, and different stages in life when it comes to growth. This is my birthday month, so I like to reflect on how far I have grown from one year to the next. So that is where the theme of this month came from. If you haven't listened to episode 1, please make sure you guys pause and go back and listen to episode 1. Each episode this month will build off the previous episode, so you may have missed something important, or you may not get the whole concept of each episode if you haven't listened to the previous. So go ahead and pause this one, and you can listen on Spotify, Apple podcast, or YouTube. We do have a YouTube. If you like to watch videos, then you can go on YouTube and watch, like I said, or you can just listen in the car on the way to work or while you're cleaning, whatever you want to do on Spotify or Apple Podcast. So if you're ready for straight talk, real laughs with absolutely no filters, then come on and dive into this episode with me. All right, you guys. So before we dive into the episode, I just wanted all the new people to kind of get a little spill on what Kandidly Keoshia is about. We're here to talk about real stuff, you guys. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. Everybody knows that life is full of challenges, but those challenges is what shape us, right? Those challenges are how we perceive things in life, how we think, how we act, how we react to things. So challenges always help us grow. And so with that being said, that what makes us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And y'all, that's what we're talking about today, how to face those challenges head on and come out stronger on the other side. So like I said, I like to do a little icebreaker before we start each episode, just to kind of get it light and airy before we dive deep into the nitty gritty. So today's icebreaker is, if you could go anywhere in the world right now today, where would you go and why? Right? So for me, you guys, this is something that all of my friends laugh at me when I tell them about it. They'd be like, Keoshia, like, what is your ultimate destination? What's your ultimate dream vacation if you could go on one today and money was endless and there was nothing holding you back? Y'all, my dream is to go on an African safari. Don't ask me why. I know it's dangerous. I know the lions, tigers, and bears and kangaroos and something could eat me out there. But I just really want to go on an African safari. I am such a nature girl. I love to camp. I camp with my kids all the time, and we have so much fun. And I love being out in nature. Now, I don't like to be hot, okay? When I go camping, it's more like fall camping, spring camping. We don't do no camping in the middle of the 100,000 degree weather that is Alabama. But I do love to camp. I do love to be in nature. And so for me, that would be my dream vacation. Like, I just want to be out in one of those little Jeeps, just riding through the fields with the zebras and the elephants. And, you know, I want to see the lions and stuff, but I don't want to get too close where they can get me, you know. I'll go, but I ain't trying to go too close. And then I also want to go to, I can't remember what the name of it is. It's the little hotel where you can stay at, and they have the giraffes, and the giraffes like come to your room and you can feed them from the balcony. Like, y'all, that is my ultimate dream vacation. Oh my God, I'm getting excited just even talking about it. Now, am I ever going to be able to go to this vacation? I don't know. I would love to. I'm sure it's really, really expensive, but you know, that's my dream vacation, and most dream vacations are pretty expensive. But if that's one place I could go, if I could go today, no money was no object, and I could just jet set and pack my bags and be out, I'm going on an African safari. I'm going on an African safari. I'm staying in the hotel with the giraffes, and I'm going in the Jeep, and we going through the fields, and we looking at zebras and antelopes and whatever else is out in the African safari. I'm here for it. So that is my dream vacation, and anywhere I could go, today, that will be where I go. Let me know in the comments or on social media, where would you go using the hashtag KandidlyKeoshia. Go ahead and answer my icebreaker question, and let's have a conversation about it, because I get so much grief about this vacation. A lot of people are like, girl, you is crazy. Ain't nobody going on no African safari with you. But I'm like, I'm gonna go by myself, and I bet you I'm gonna find somebody there who also want to do an African safari, and they don't have no problem with it, and they gonna be my little buddies, and we all gonna safari together. But I am a horror movie person, so I did watch, what was that movie called, Prey, where somebody went out and did an African safari, and the truck got stuck, and then the lions were trying to kill them. So I want to do it, but I don't want to do it. I want to do it, but I ain't trying to get ate up by the lions. So with that being said, that is where I want to go. Is it safe? I'm hoping. But you are dealing with animals, and they're very much unpredictable. But that's my dream vacation, regardless of how dangerous it is. So let's go ahead and move into today's episode. All right, now that we got a fun little icebreaker out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. So once again, we're going to take it back to 19, pregnant, dropped out of college. Now I've moved back home, and I'm back in the place where I did not want to be, a place that I was running away from to have my so-called freedom. But unfortunately, I was irresponsible with that freedom, and now we are back to the house. Okay, back to the house, dropped out of college. Degree is way over here, and I'm over there, right? So my destination was to get a degree, a bachelor's degree in accounting, and I am now several steps in the wrong direction of achieving that degree. And so, life throws you curveballs, and it threw me the biggest curveball when I got pregnant at 19 and had to move back home. And in my world, it was turned upside down. I did discuss in the previous episode how I was so upset. I was so embarrassed of everybody knowing that I would not become what I told everybody I would become, right? I told everybody I was going to go to college, I was going to have an accounting degree, and I was going to have a great life. I told myself I was going to college, get free, be able to experience life and all the things I wasn't able to experience in my mom's house. Now, unfortunately, things did not turn out the way I wanted them to, because of choices that I made that I do not regret, because life choices always teaches us a lesson. And so I would never regret anything I do in life. Now, would I have done it differently if I had a choice? Yes. But like I said, I made my choice, and therefore I had to step into the responsibility of the choice that I made. But that was just the beginning. After moving back home and having everybody, look at me with disappointed, whisper behind my back, tell me that I wasn't going to be anything, shoot all of these negative and statistical words on me, it became a weight on my shoulder, and my life became just really, really hard and very depressing. Telling me that I never make it, and I'll be another statistic, and I'll be on welfare, and I'll be in, at the projects, and my baby daddy family wasn't nothing. And so what am I going to do with a child at this age with nothing? Okay, because at this point now I ain't got no place to live. Well, I do. I'm moving back with my mom. I don't have a job. I'm not in school. And I'm pregnant, right? All the things that point towards you ain't finna be shit. It's basically what they were saying, to sum it all up. But I had a choice, you guys. I had a choice to make. I could either let the voices drown me out, or I could rise above them. In the previous episode, I let you guys know that I was in my room one day, and I was just so upset, and I was so depressed, and I was so angry that I tore up my room, y'all. I tore it up. Throw it up to holy hell. I did have to clean it up later, which was stupid of me. But anyway, in hindsight, it felt good. And, I'm sitting here and I'm upset, and I made a choice, and I talk about that in the previous episode. I know I keep saying that. I apologize. But it does build on each episode builds on the next. So in that episode, I did say that I made a choice that I was going to prove everybody wrong. Like, I am somebody when now, in that moment, I got so upset and I got so mad, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to prove everybody wrong. Nobody is going to tell me that I am not going to be anything, that I am not going to have a successful life. I'm not going to have a successful career. I'm not going to make anything of my life just because this one moment in my life has deviated or altered the path that I set out for myself. Now, would it have been easier if I didn't take this path? Yes, but this was the path that I ultimately chose by making the decisions that I made. And so I have to, own up to those decisions, as hard as it was, face everybody, be embarrassed, do all the things. But at that moment in my room on the floor, huffing and puffing, I was like, you know what? I'm no longer going to be ashamed. I'm no longer let you going to make me a statistic. I'm no longer going to let you decide who I'm going to be. Your opinions are not facts. Your opinions are not law. Your opinions are not the future, right? I am the creator of my future. I am the decision maker of my future. If I give up, that's a decision I have made. But I don't have to give up because that's what you think I'm going to do, right? It's all about mindset, And so I chose to rise. But let me tell you something. It was so hard. It was not easy to do. Looking people in their face, looking people in the eye and telling them, this is what I'm going to do with my life, regardless of where I am in my life, and them having you look at you and say, well, how are you going to do all that? You don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have that. Like pointing out every little nitpicky thing that you don't have or not do or this, that, and the other. And sometimes, you've heard the story where people tell you move in silence. That's something I had to learn, because moving and getting validation from others is not always a good thing. So I had to dig deep and know and believe in myself without looking for validation of others. At that moment when I told people what I was going to do and I was still going to become somebody successful and I was still going to do this and I was still going to do that, regardless if I had a child, there was a lot of more negativity, more doubt, more, you wish type situation, right? And so I had to dig deep, y'all. I had to dig deep and find my inner strength and to learn to trudge along on my own by myself. And when I say on my own by myself, am I by myself? No, I'm living with my mom. She's helping me out. My ex is helping me out. My mother-in-law was helping me out. And so I still had people who were helping me. But when I say I go about it alone, the thought process, the planning, the fine-tuning, the saving, the plotting, as I like to call it, was all me, myself, and I. I no longer shared more than I wanted somebody to give me an opinion on, the things that really mattered to me, the plans that I really had for myself, I no longer shared. At the end of the day, when you figured out what my plan was, I was already finished. When you figured out that I was going to go to school and get a associate degree, the next thing you know, I was just going to classes. Like I wasn't going to tell you ahead of time what I was going to do. I wasn't going to tell you ahead of time what I was planning just to hear your negativity, just to tell me I can't do it. Like who got time for that? We done and over. Decision made on the floor in that room that day, and from that day forth, me, myself was all I was listening to. So like I said, I found the inner strength and kept moving forward, even when it felt like the world was against me. Because that's truly what it felt like. Like I had people in my corner. I had people who rooted me on. My mom was really, really good. She believed in Jesus. She believed everything happened for a reason. Now, did she have her doubts? I don't know. She probably never told me. I don't never remember her saying she doubted anything that I would do. I don't remember her encouraging me. And this is just my memory. I'm not saying she didn't, okay? Because you'll find out I don't have the best memory. But there's some things that I remember distinctly and clearly. And I just don't remember if she did or not. I don't think that she ever told me I wasn't going to be anything, I wasn't going to be able to do anything. I think she was just like, it's going to be hard now. And you have to believe in Jesus and all those kind of things. Because like I said, she was a very much a Christian woman. And she is to this day. She tell me about Jesus every day and tell me I need to read my Bible and do all the things. To this day, okay? And so, I had to face those challenges and do it when the world was against me, or when I felt like everybody was against me and everybody was just like telling me I couldn't be nobody, And that's really hard. when you're trying to overcome challenges, when you're trying to overcome the obstacles that you have in life at the moment. And I had a lot of them, y'all. I was 19 and pregnant. I was trying to get back and forth to community college because I enrolled in community college. I was trying to get back and forth to work. You know, I had to pay bills at my mom's house. And then I still had the so-called foster relationship with my boyfriend. And make time for all of these things with the limited amount of time that I had and with all the emotions that I was feeling in those moments, in those times, you know, doubting myself and saying, can I really do this? Because I'll tell you right now, I doubted myself a lot, but I am such a person where when I doubt myself and I think that I'm not going to do something, I don't always voice that out to people. It's always more of an internal battle, because I found that when you voice things like that out loud, people tend to not uplift you. They tend to agree. They tend to tell you, well, you know, you did have a baby at 19, you know, life gonna be hard. You might not be shit. Like that's not what they said per se verbatim, but I mean, this is what they're giving off. Like, yeah, you know, you might not be shit. I don't know what to tell you. You know, these decisions you made for yourself, you're gonna have to work with what you got. I mean, which is true. You got to work with what you got, but just because you made one mistake, I mean, it's so funny because in hindsight, I'm like, all these people were saying all this stuff like y'all ain't never made no mistakes in life. Like y'all ain't never did something or went on a path that you didn't expect. It's so crazy to me. But once again, facing challenges isn't about surviving the storm, you guys. It's getting through the storm, persevering through the storm, and coming out stronger and better on the other side. Because baby, being pregnant at 19 was a storm all in itself, along with the other shit I had to deal with. I think I was in a goddamn tsunami. It wasn't even no storm, baby. It was a hurricane, tsunami, all that stuff rolled up in one. It's like one of them disaster movies where the world is going crazy. You know, it's floods over here and it's tornadoes over here and it's freezing over there. Like one of them crazy movies where the world elements are going crazy. Like that was my world. My world was crazy. And everything was doing everything and not working together in them moments. And then those were the times when I felt like I wasn't going to make it, y'all. I felt like I wasn't going to make it. Yeah, I'm just hindsight looking at what I did in those months after I got home, because I ended up coming home. So I went to the last semester of college. That was what was it? 1998, August of 1998 to December of 1998. And then I came home in 1999. So I did go my last semester of college, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. January of 1999, I enrolled in community college. And I remember I was going to class, and baby, I was waddling to class. Like, it was so embarrassing. It was so embarrassing being the pregnant girl on campus. Like, I was huge, you guys. Like, ridiculously huge. Like, I was fine. Like, I was small and I didn't really have, but like, it's like when January hit, I was like massive. Because I'm trying to think if I even went. I feel like I wasn't big when I went back to school. Like, I wasn't showing. And I feel like by the time August came, I would have been showing. I could be getting it wrong. I could have started community college in August of 1998. It was somewhere around there. Let's just chalk it up to my bad memory, okay, at this point. But I do know that I was huge that January to March of 1999, because my son was due March 20 of 1999. So I'm walling around campus going to classes, right? I'm big belly and all, working at Walmart. Like, when I say life was hard, life was hard. I remember distinctly, I was working at Walmart, and because I couldn't lift any groceries or I couldn't move fast enough, they took me off of the cash register because I was a cashier, and they let me greet people at the door. And I remember standing at the door. You know, if you ever worked at Walmart, they ain't shit. Like, they take forever to give you a lunch break. They take forever to relieve you from your position. I remember I was standing there and I hadn't had lunch yet. I don't know how long I was there or when the last time I was ate, and I remember getting sick. I remember getting sick and throwing up like in the Walmart garbage can by the door. And I'm like telling my boss, I'm like, hey, I got to go and get something to eat. I got to do this. She's like, oh, you can't leave until you do this, that, and other. Y'all, when I say I remember I quit so quick. Like, these are the things that I had to go to. I needed the money. And I worked at Walmart because Walmart was where I could get a discount on diapers. I could get a discount on wipes. And while I worked there, I did gather a lot of stuff for my son. So every paycheck, I bought something. So whether it was wipes, whether it was diapers, whether it was, the bum cream, the rash cream, or bottles, or formula, or whatever. I was buying little by little every time I get paid. But baby, them folks had draw the line, okay? And this is not like this was the first time this had happened. Like, I had been dealing with this just to keep a job and keep money. So once again, the choices I made putting me in these predicaments, these obstacles, these challenges that I had to go through with the job, with the school, getting back and forth to work. Like, I didn't have a car. I'm on a bus, busting it. I think I eventually got a car. One of my uncles gave me like $1,000. We went to the auction and we got a car. But I can't remember what year that was. I feel like I know my son was already born, but I don't know how soon that was around me going to college or whatever. I can't really remember. But y'all, these are the challenges I have to go through. And these were the days when I was like, damn, am I even going to make it? Like, these people don't care if I eat. I'm throwing up in the garbage can. Then after that, I had to go to class. Then I had to figure out how to get home. Like, it's a lot. But when I felt like giving up, when I felt like, okay, enough is enough, just be the person that these folks told you to be, Keoshia. Because life would so-called be easy if you went on food stamps and went and lived in the projects. Let the government pay for it. Let them do whatever they want to do. I just didn't have that mindset. Like, I could not do it. Like, I wasn't going to do that. That was not the life that I wanted to lead. That was the easy way out. I never took the easy way out. That's one thing about me. I ain't taking no easy way out. I probably should have a couple times, but I didn't. Like, it's just something about me and my ethics that I can't take the easy way out. Like, I got to go through the damn valley of shadow of death. Like, I got to go through it, y'all. And I just remind myself that, you can make it through. It's just tough right now. And every day wasn't like that. I had really great days, feeling him kick and, going to the doctor visit and see how big he's grown and, seeing his dad and the family's excited about a new addition. There was good days too. It wasn't all bad, but it was tough. It was tough. It was hard. I don't know how to think about it. I don't know how the hell I made it through, y'all. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was good, y'all. Let me tell you something. Nothing but the Lord. Nothing but the Lord. Because me, myself, and I could not have made it through all on my little lonesome, okay? And family that helped out and friends and everybody else as well. And so when I felt that way, when I felt like giving up, I remembered all the good times. I remember being able to meet my son one day, and I reminded myself that the challenge wasn't here to break me, right? I wasn't going to let it break me. I wasn't going to let it prove everybody that they was right about, me and be a statistic or whatever opinions they had of me. And what it taught me resilience, patience, and the power of never giving up on myself. Because when if I would have gave up on my dreams, if I would have gave up on my path, if I would have gave up on, the ultimate goal that I wanted, I wasn't hurting anybody else. I was hurting myself. I was giving up on myself. I was telling myself, myself was telling myself that I wasn't good enough, that I was everything that everybody said it was to be. And I'm the one who needs to be the ultimate cheerleader of my life. You can never expect anybody else to be a bigger cheerleader for your life than you. A bigger motivator, a bigger supporter, a bigger whatever for your life. You always have to be first in line to cheer yourself on. And I learned that the hard way. Like, it took me a long time to learn that. Let's just get into what I learned, because like I said, I'm long-winded and we can go about this all day, but we have more episodes where we can dive more into me getting pregnant at 19, and dropping out of college. But here's what I learned, y'all. Life challenges aren't
obstacles, they're opportunities. So you have to change your mindset sometimes. Like, yes, you make a mistake. Yes, you do something that wasn't in the plan. Yes, you do whatever, but it's an opportunity for you to grow. It's an opportunity for you to learn. It's an opportunity for you to become a better version of yourself. I can tell you now, I definitely would not be the Keoshia I am now if I didn't get pregnant at 19. And not to say that the Keoshia who didn't get pregnant at 19 wouldn't be as successful or, more successful or less successful if I didn't get pregnant at 19. And not to say that Keoshia who got pregnant at 19 is less successful, more successful, or went down an improper path because of two different things that happened. But it did make me become a better version of myself. It helped me learn from making bad choices, and learning that I need to think things through. I need to understand what the consequences are of what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it, right? And that's in any situation. I didn't let the challenge define me, or the obstacle, or the mistake, or whatever you want to call it. I let it refine me. I let me grow, learn, and become a better version of Keoshia. Because you need these types of challenges, these types of mistakes, whatever you want to call it, to help you become a better you. If you never go through anything, if you never have any problems, if you never go through challenges or hard times in life, then what is there to learn? What is there to grow? How do you become a better version of yourself if you never go through trials and tribulations, okay? Trials and tribulations are different for everybody. There are different levels depending on your background, your age, your financial class, your race, your ethnicity. Like, it can be different. But everybody who has grown and learned something, it's from something that happened that they didn't like. A mistake, a challenge, troublesome times, sad times, grief, happy times. All of these things in life help you become a better version of yourself, help you learn and grow. And unfortunately, it's something that's going to happen to the end of time, to the day you die. We all hate the trials and tribulation package. I hate it with a passion, but Jesus, keep giving it to me. Okay? Like, I need to be signed up for the prosperous and peaceful package. But I keep getting the trials and tribulation package, y'all. Am I the only one? Raise your hand if you still going through the trials and tribulation package. Jesus, please. We hear this every single year that people get on the internet. I want the peace and prosper and profit and, abundance package, but we keep getting the trials and tribulation package. Like, I feel like I've got a trial and tribulation package, y'all, for decades now. Like, I just don't even expect to get nothing else. I just expect every year to have some kind of trial, some type of tribulation, some type of stuff. But I also have gotten the abundance package. Like, I have been blessed beyond blessed. And I tend to get both, but I would love to have a little bit more, of the abundance and peace package. But you can't, beggars can't be choosers. So I didn't get the bachelor's degree in accounting, you guys. I did get my associate degree in accounting. So I did end up graduating with an accounting degree. Was it a bachelor's? No, but I still got my degree. And most important, I got a life lessons on perseverance and powering through challenging times. And learning to believe in myself. Learning that I am capable of doing anything that I want to do. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody opinions of me, how they judge me, stereotype me, whatever it is. I learned to believe in me. My confidence got a boost because I started saying that you are the maker of your life. You are going to do these things. It ultimately started out as me trying to prove everybody wrong and tell them, oh, you ain't gonna tell me. But it turned into really a lesson of believing in myself, having confidence in myself, and being my biggest cheerleader and motivator. If you're going through a tough time right now, I want you to know that you are stronger than you think. We all think we're not going to make it. We all think that our life is just shit right now and we just don't know how we're going to make it through. We've all been there before, but you are stronger than you think. The fact that you're still standing means you are got what it takes to keep going. Don't let the challenge define you. Let it build you. Let it grow you. Let it learn you. Let it refine you. until you become a better version of you. A version of you that can handle any challenges head on, face on, no doubts, no regrets, no doubts, no regrets. Be your biggest motivator. Be your biggest cheerleader. Here's some steps and kind of things that helped me, when I was really down and deep, and just sometimes I used to sit and just think about stuff. Sometimes I would sit and be like, okay, here's my problems, Keoshia. What is it that you can do? How can you help yourself move forward and get out of this state of mind that seems to have you stuck? Change your perspective. That's the number one thing. A lot of things are based on your perspective. If you say your life is trash, your life is going to be trash. Instead of you saying, why is this happening to me? You say, what can I learn from this situation? How can I grow from this situation? How can I become a better version of myself from this situation? Shifting your mindset from being a victim to somebody who can overcome and persevere can change everything. Mindset is the strongest thing that you can have in life. Like, a lot of people are very weak-minded. Any one little thing somebody tells them, they believe it and they go running off. Even my bestie talks about me sometimes because I'm very much somebody who doubts myself in the beginning. I'm not good enough. Who am I, to start this podcast and give y'all the advice? Like, who am I? Where I come up with this stuff? I even do this to this day. But once again, I have learned to correct those negative talks, those negative thoughts, and change my perspective to, why are you the authority to start this podcast, Keoshia? It's because you have gone through things in life that others are going through right now, and they may need you and your experiences and your stories, your motivation and your positive talk to help them get through a tough time when you didn't have that. You see how I changed that perspective? See how I made this into something that's not about me. It's not about me doubting or not being good enough. It's about how can I help others by doing something that I like to do, which is talk all the time, as you can tell. And, it's just something that everybody just has to work on. I'm still working on to this day. It's not something that, you're going to learn overnight or be able to do overnight. Just change your perspective. When you hear negative talk to yourself, you're talking to yourself negative, you're doubting yourself. Change your perspective. Ask you a question. Okay, why not? What can I learn? What else could I say to myself? Right? And then take one step at a time. When you're overwhelmed, break stuff down. What are the small things you can do today to move forward, to get over this hump, to get over this obstacle, to move on, to get closer to getting out of this challenging time in your life? For me, it was getting out of school, getting a degree so that I can make better money, so that I can make a life for me and my son. Right now we're living with others. We're making pennies on the dollar and we're struggling. But me getting a degree and doing all of those things helped me move forward, to having a better life, to having our own place, to having all the things that I want to have in life for me and my child. So my first step was going to community college in order to achieve all those things. It wasn't the big dream that I thought it was going to be. It wasn't the big dream that I wanted to have when I first started to set out for college, but it was the step in the right direction. And then you could lean on a support system. I did have a support system. No matter how small it was, I did have one. My mom was amazing. My sister was amazing most of the time. And, my ex was there whenever he was there, child. Him and his family were great. But don't be afraid to ask for help. I think one thing I was definitely lacking, if I could change, is asking for help more. I'm definitely somebody who doesn't like to ask for help, because once you tell me no or make me feel some type of way about helping me, I don't want to ask you to help me anymore. And sometimes that's detrimental to you. Sometimes you have to go and ask for the help and get all the little bad sayings and all the little things just to get what you need so you can get where you want to go. So for me, I needed to ask somebody to watch my child so I could go to class. I needed somebody to, buy me diapers when I have money. And yes, sometimes you're going to listen to negativity. You shouldn't have got pregnant at 19. You should have a better job. You should save money. You're going to have to listen to all of that sometimes when you want help. You just have to learn how to let certain things in and let certain things else go out. It's always a means to an end. But sometimes you have family and friends or a community who believes in you and makes all the difference. So I did have people who motivated me, were happy to keep my sons or happily to drop me off just so that they could see that I would succeed in life and ultimately reach the goal that I want to do, which at the time was to get my associate degree in accounting and go to classes and go to work and be able to make a life for me and my son by moving forward in my education. Now, it was hard. Like I said, I was my biggest doubter, but I also had to remember when I felt stuck to remind myself of all the small victories that I have already accomplished, which was finishing a semester of school, getting good grades, balancing school and work. Those little wins added up, and before I knew it, I was on the other side of that challenge stronger than ever. Before I knew it, I was on the other side of those classes getting my degree. Before I knew it, I was on the other side of those classes getting a new job. A job to ultimately set me up to get my bachelor's degree. So when you're feeling stuck, look at those small victories that you've already accomplished to help you move forward and to motivate you to keep going. Because it's all those little bitty victories that will end up adding up to the big victory. And that's your ultimate goal, is to make it over here and take all these little steps here to get there. It's not a race. It's not a challenge. It's not a competition. Everybody's life goes in the correct speed, in the right path, on the right day, at the right time. And you can't compare that to anybody else. Because somebody's always moving faster than you, slower than you, same as you. Somebody went left, you went right. Somebody went up, you went down. It doesn't matter. The ultimate is to look at your stuff. Okay? Stop looking over here. Stop looking over there. Stay in your lane. And take the little steps to get where you want to go. All right, let's move into winding down today's episode. So to recap, we talked about challenges and how they are used for opportunities for growing and learning and becoming a better version of ourselves. So life is about accepting challenges along the way, but to keep moving forward and to know that this journey will lead to a better version of yourself. Every journey, every challenge has a lesson that you can use to grow, learn, and better your environment and yourself. So if this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Your support helps keeps the conversation going, and I love to hear your thoughts. Drop me a message. Let me know the challenges you're facing, and let's tackle them together. Use the hashtag KANDIDLYKEOSHIA on social media to keep the conversation going. So next time on Kandidly Keoshia, we're going to talk about something that's just as important as overcoming challenges, and it's fixing your environment. Because the people and the places around you can make or break your journey. Trust me, you definitely don't want to miss next week's episode. All right, you guys, so thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Keep it real, keep laughing, and keep growing. Remember, life challenges are just stepping stones to your greatness. So I'll see you guys in the next episode.